All right, it's 8:53, folks. From oleanders to tulips to even aloe. You might like the looks of these plants in your garden, but did you know they can be harmful to your dogs? Dave, the garden guy, is at Summer Winds Nursery. He has more on which plants can do more harm than good. And Dave, I did not know this. Good morning.
Good morning. In fact, they do a lot of harm to your pets. We're going to talk to a doctor here in a few minutes. This is my Jack dog right here. He's my constant companion on the farm up north. Great looking dog. Actually, he's called an Aussie Doodle, and he's done fantastic out here in the desert Southwest. He's one of the most easiest trained dogs I've ever had. Now, you're looking at some plants here. These plants are all poisonous to your dogs and cats, some a lot more than others. We mentioned, oleanders earlier, and I'm with Dr. Darius Starks. And Darius, why don't you tell us a little bit about the types of plants we're looking at here?
Most of our desert plants have some type of toxicity associated with them. It allows them to survive in the harsh environment. As you mentioned before, oleander is everywhere in the valley.
And here's one right over here. You can take a look at it.
Yep. And it's very toxic, even to people. Oleander is associated with cardiotoxicity.
What does that mean?
So cardiotoxicity means that it negatively affects the heart, and so it actually can cause many different signs in your pets, including initially vomiting and diarrhea, but you may see collapse, and there have been pets that have died from oleander toxicity.
And typically, will a pet go up and start chewing on it, or why will a pet actually, I haven't known a lot of pets that actually eat oleanders, but why would a pet actually want to actually eat an oleander like this?
There's many different reasons, and usually a lot of the toxic plants are associated with a bad taste. However, depending on the dog and the breed, maybe a rabbit goes underneath the bush. Maybe they saw you messing with it. Maybe they're bored or need a little bit more exercise. There's nothing more fun than destroying a bush.
And there's another one that I run into all the time. You mentioned earlier. This is castor bean right over here. Arnold, come on over here. We've only got it from the seed. They don't really sell them here, but this is one that's especially toxic, right?
Castor bean is something I would definitely avoid in the valley. Again, it's toxic to not only pets but to children. And the seeds are going to be the most toxic, the pods. Most castor bean toxicity we miss, and the pets end up dying from it. So it's something that initially, if you catch it, you can catch vomiting or diarrhea.
Our pets are family, right? And their health and safety is so important to us. We know there are certain foods we shouldn't give our pets because they can be harmful, but did you know the same goes for some of the plants we grow in our garden? Dave, the garden guy, is joining us this morning with some important info. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Sweet Pea. Hey, listen, we're with my Jack dog right here. This is my farm dog. And he's got a lot of fur on him, but this time of year, he feels like it's fairly cool out here. But one thing you got to keep in mind out here in the desert Southwest is looking for different types of, poisonous plants and, of course, those different types of mulches. In fact, we're looking at a mulch right over here called cocoa shells. I'm with Dr. Darius Starks here from Midwestern University. Darius, tell us a little bit about these cocoa shells.
Cocoa shells are actually made from the same substance as chocolate, and it contains the same toxic substance as chocolate, theobromine. Dogs will ingest this mulch, and it can cause the same toxicities, which may be associated with tremors, vomiting, diarrhea, but ultimately veterinary care needs to be sought.
And there's another one that you see in yards all the time. It's called the sago palm right over here. And you can see it right there at the end there, Arnold. You can see that sago palm. Tell us a little bit about this plant and why it would be detrimental to have one of these around your pets.
If you own a dog, I would probably say this is a plant you want to avoid completely. Sago palm causes liver failure in dogs in as little as 2 days. And there's not a lot of signs that will tell us that your dog has ingested it.
Okay, so typically, if there are any signs, what would we be looking for?
Initially, your dog may have vomiting or diarrhea. If you're lucky, you may notice your pet has turned yellow or jaundice, and that definitely is an emergency to seek a veterinary care.
And we'll talk about a little bit about indoor plants over here. We're looking at Dieffenbachia, split-leaf philodendron. You can see some of those in a lot of homes out here, especially with cats.
Dieffenbachia is one that's toxic even to people. It's known as dumb cane. It contains oxalates that can actually numb the mouth, and it causes local irritation, so pets may salivate, may not be able to swallow. And this applies to cats and dogs and even children.
And you were saying earlier, we talked about oleanders. This is probably one of the most detrimental plants you can have around your home. But if the dog's chasing a rabbit or something along those lines?
A lot of plants like oleander, dogs may chase a rabbit into the bush. And when they do so, they may chew on it. They may dig and get the bush out. And even the sap is toxic to the dogs, and it can affect their heart.
And you can see all these different types of plants here. There's a lot of different types of plants, even your vincas over there, your bird of paradise right here. Talked a little bit about the different types of oleanders and some of your lantana. You got to be careful, folks, when you're actually doing a lot of landscaping out here in the desert Southwest. Well, you want to make careful, especially if you got a dog like my Jack dog over here, that you plant in the type of situation where, well, a dog like this can't get into it. Sweet Pete, I got some bad news for you. Are you there? You're not going to believe it, but your namesake is one of the ones you want to stay away from.
What?
If you got
The
a dog
Sweet
or
Pea?
cat.
You're kidding.
Like this Jack dog. Yeah, I hate to say it, Sweet Pea. But you know what? When I gave you the name, I didn't really think the fact that it might be poisonous to dogs and cats. I may end up changing that name on you.
Hey, there's a dark side to
there
everything,
you go.
right?
There is. Okay, so Jack and Garden Guy, back to you guys.